welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachel Ann
and Neal Young. We're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachel Ann and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Come in.
Sure, use your podcast voice. Will
You know, over here, I'm kidding out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that? Hey!
This episode is brought to you by my admin. Well, HDPhotoHub, which is basically like having an admin.
That's right. And it's not just a delivery platform. It's a powerhouse designed to make your work shine. From stunning teaser videos and social media reels to custom property websites and polished printable flyers, HDPhotoHub automates it all so you can focus on what matters, growing your business.
That's right. All right. Welcome back to the podcast. Super excited. Today we have a PMRE Roundtable. We've got guests galore today. Ian from HDPhotoHub and Oliver, who has his own real estate media company and also coaches real estate media business owners. And today we're collectively going to talk about all the cool stuff we learned at PMRE and the big takeaways and what we were thinking going in and what the difference was that we took away. So all the big highlights, all the cool stuff happening today.
Yes, PMRE was a whirlwind of just a lot of conversations, a lot of great speakers, some really interesting things that we took away from the conference. So we thought it would be a great idea to get a couple people from different perspectives together to really unpack and talk about PMRE and discuss some of our findings and talk about some of the new and exciting and upcoming things that are coming down the pipeline, including one from Ian from HDPhotoHub. Ian, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey, I'm Ian Kautzman, the COO at HDPhotoHub. Been in the real estate technology world since 2009, so a little bit of time and experience in this game, and been at HDPhotoHub since 2019, so coming up on 7 years here. And you know, it's always fun to work in the industry. It's especially fun as you get deeper knowledge and you go to these conferences and you get to meet more people that have that knowledge. It's just awesome to get out there and connect and realize that there's people out there that understand what we're all talking about, right? I feel like in general, real estate photographers, and then even people like us who are in the real estate photography technology space, we just don't get to make those connections every day, right? I meet a parent of the kids at school and they have no idea what I'm talking about when I serve real estate photography technologies. They're like, I didn't know that was a thing. And I was like, I know, and it's okay. Like, I'm not offended. So it's just awesome to always get in a room. But yeah, so I've been in the industry for a long time and we're super excited at HDPhotoHub. You know, been around that company now for coming up on 9 years is how long the company's been around. And we're coming up on a really nice evolution we got to talk about at the PMRE at a lunch and learn session. We had the pleasure of buying a bunch of our customers and hopefully some new customers some lunch there, and got to talk about what's coming with a new interface as we kind of move into 2026. So we've got a beta available for people to sign up, and really it's just sort of a whole new look. It's going to be very mobile first, which is awesome. Newer updated designs, and you know, over the years you really bolt on a lot of awesome functionality that gets suggested by our users, and sometimes when you keep bolting stuff on, it starts to feel a little ragged and not in harmony. And so we're really excited to take the opportunity to bring that stuff back together and just make the overall experience enhanced from where it's at today, just kind of keep us the leader in the industry.
Amazing.
That's awesome. And we got a little sneak peek of what's coming, and it is quite the facelift. Yeah. It's got some great new integrations and reporting and just things that have been needed, and you guys are coming through with it. So I can't wait for it to roll out.
Rach, can you imagine if you had to go back to a world pre-HDPhotoHub?
Oh, no way. No, HDPhotoHub literally saved my life during the COVID craze. With online ordering, their invoicing, the photo delivery, the Google integration, and just having everything on one platform, HDPhotoHub really does it all. And I cannot imagine my business without it.
Same. Pre-HD PhotoHub, I feel like I was just spending all my time chasing my own tail. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is our listeners get a special deal. If you enter the code STS, you're going to get 10 free full marketing kit deliveries. Remember, enter the code STS.
Fun fact, I met Ian. He was my onboarding
Mm.
specialist when I joined HDPhotoHub back in, I think it was 2020. And
Yep.
I had him on speed dial for 2 or 3 days. We were besties. And you were so great, Ian.
I know. You go way back to then, and the company at HDPhotoHub was pretty different, right? We had just
Yeah.
finished our first PMRE. We were at the inaugural one in 2019. We were excited to sponsor that event, and then we got to meet a bunch of great businesses during COVID. And it's wild to think back to those times. You know, pretty different. Our business has evolved a lot, just like the photography businesses out there. And it's like, hey, we were on our shooters, and now we've got 15 people that are out there shooting from us or for us. It's very similar in the sense of we've really built up our team and kind of taken it one step at a time. Not typical tech company of big cash influxes and investors and things. We don't have that. So it kind of gives us a different luxury of how we go about our business, because we have been bootstrapped and built it up and really built it on a lot of feedback and things from our customers over the years. And we don't have anybody to please other than ourselves and our customers, which I think puts us in a unique position overall for a technology company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Oliver Ward, why don't you introduce yourself, tell the people a little bit about you and your story.
For sure. Thank you. First of all, I want to say I've been binging your content the last couple of days, just really getting familiar with everything, and you guys do an awesome job. It's great. And Ian, I've also been watching the HDPhotoHub content, and I think we all, when we drive around, we listen to podcasts, but I started really getting into industry specific podcasts, and all the content you guys are putting out is really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, what can I share? And what I love to know from other real estate media providers is, how did you end up here? Because I don't believe any of us in high school, when we were getting our diploma, said, I will be a real estate media provider. And I don't say that disparagingly. I just feel like it's a job people don't know really exists.
Mm-hmm.
That's also something that was really interesting that I observed at PMRE, is like, kind of feels like not misfits, but there's just all these people that service this massive industry, and they come from different backgrounds, and none of them really intended to be there, but now they're influencing the biggest industry in the world, which is, buying and selling real estate. So my backstory, I was an actor in my 20s. Both my wife and I, we were both performers. We lived in Toronto, Ontario. We decided that we didn't want to wait to be a guest star on Degrassi. So she moved to London, England. I moved to New York City. That just wasn't satisfactory for me. So back then, we still wrote letters. We have a stack of letters I was writing to her in London saying, like, just come to New York. You'll get on Broadway. I'll make movies. It'll be awesome. So she moved in. We spent 2 years just doing the New York thing. Really, what I was a bartender, but there was tons of like off-Broadway.
I can relate.
Yeah, you become a really great bartender when you're an actor. And then eventually, it was 2008. Economy was collapsing. Any opportunity as I was getting as an actor, they were like, do not hire Canadians. We got to hire American, which I totally respect. So I bounced. And as I was leaving, I was saying, like, if my wife would, or my girlfriend would come with me, I'd propose, we'd get married. And as I left, she was like, if he would just propose, I would go back with him. So we spent like 6 months apart. I moved back to Toronto. I got really into indie filmmaking and like making our own work because I was tired of waiting. And then eventually I put my wife in this web series that we made called 3 Guys and a Witch. Look it up or don't look it up. And once that website was done, or web series was done, I proposed to her. We got married. Flash forward, we were both still actors, and it was just, we're getting older. And we were just, and she got an opportunity to sing at this resort 2 hours north of Toronto in this place called Muskoka. It's very much like Dirty Dancing. The entertainment staff, all these guests would come and go, and she would be singing on stage like 5 nights a week. And I went up there just to get away from the industry. And like flash forward a few months later, I meet this guy called Survivor Man. He's got a TV show. He needs an editor. He offers me a full-time job, and I take it. And then the two of us both have actual salaries, which we never had before. And we live in this tiny little town in not quite northern Ontario, but pretty much. And that is where real estate media comes in. Because after working on the TV show for a couple of years, I realized I was never going to become Survivor Man. I didn't want to become Survivor Man. I didn't want to be a career editor. We had our first daughter and I quit, which was a really bad time to quit. But that's what I did. Then I started looking for what can I do with my cameras in this little small town. I tried everything, weddings, small business, advertising, headshots, all that stuff. Eventually at a barbecue, a buddy of mine who's a real estate agent said, "Hey, can you do real estate?" And I was like, of course, that's probably the easiest thing in my mind for me to do. My first shoot was an absolute disaster because I was treating it like a filmmaker. I knew nothing about the industry. I was so cocky and so horrible. So then I spent a lot of time educating myself. And that's kind of when I became obsessed with workflow and simplicity and how do I template all this stuff. And that became my obsession. Started making decent money at it. My old filmmaker friends who are all older as well, they're saying like, "Hey, how do you support yourself just with your cameras?" And then I started teaching them how to do real estate media. And that's kind of where the whole coaching thing started. So that's my elevator. That's a very long elevator story.
I like it.
Elevator.
It's a great story. I love it. That's amazing. I fear we may have gone by this too fast. Wait, what was the title of what we have to check out? The Witches and what now?
So it's called Three Guys and a Witch. My coworker or my co-creators, they may have taken it down. I hope they haven't, but they're a little bit worried about the politically incorrectness of the show. But I hope it's still on YouTube. The last time I checked it is. We watch it every couple of years for a good laugh.
If you don't know, I have a similar background doing acting all in Hollywood. And I have a similar story. First film I ever did, like my parents saw the premiere in Boston when I had already moved out to LA. So I didn't get to see it. They're all like, "It was so great. It was so good." I'm like, "Really?" Because I was worried, like first thing I ever did. And I saw it. Oh my God, it was the worst.
Oh, isn't that? Yeah.
Yeah. And then so just recently, the director who directed that was the first film she ever directed. She blew up and she's doing television shows and all this cool stuff now. And all of a sudden, you can't find that video anywhere. It's gone.
Oh,
It's been stripped from the internet. And thank God.
They scrubbed it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. My buddies are still in the industry, so I think they tried to scrub it, but I haven't checked. I should check. Anyways, it's good for a laugh. You'll see me play a super dorky virgin who likes to LARP. So just to give you an idea of, and if you don't know what LARPing is, you know what? You'll find out.
Note to editors, can we please find a clip of Ollie for this? And
Definitely.
You go by Ollie sometimes, not just Oliver, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Good.
And in right
Okay,
now.
so real quick. So Oliver, I don't know how I think we just stumbled upon each other on social media and started chatting. But one thing that really piqued my curiosity about you is that you live part-time down in Costa Rica. And you live part-time in Canada. Can you explain a little bit about your living situation? Because I think it's very inspiring to a lot of people, including myself.
Thank you. Yeah, like a lot of people, we went on vacation to Costa Rica once. It's kind of a place that grabs you or doesn't, either repels you or grabs you. It definitely grabbed us. And my wife and I were spending some of our winters down there. And we started bringing our kids down there. We spent more and more time. And eventually I was like, I realized what I was doing is making all my money in the summer and then just burning it all in the winter in Costa Rica, which was nice, but it really wasn't not, as the provider in the family, it wasn't super smart. So, I listened to a lot of entrepreneur, call it hustle porn. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on this podcast, but that's what I call it. And something that I heard a lot of people talk about is like turning your expenses into an asset, or, how can your vacation be an expense to your business and not to your life? And so I looked into it and I realized I could start a business down there. A lot of legal stuff I won't get into, but I can definitely own a business down there. I can train local guys and gals how to shoot. And then the life down there can be an expense. So that's what I do now. In Costa Rica in the winter, it's kind of nice. Their high season picks up just as ours dies. There's a huge community of expats and Bitcoin billionaires building these like insane houses down there, but they don't really have like dedicated North American style marketing and media. And so I'm trying to, with my educational background of teaching and then just using all the fun, sophisticated software we have here, I'm bringing that style of service down there, but using local shooters. And so that's what we're doing now.
It's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
Did you learn Spanish?
Don't ask me that. It's the most shameful part of my existence down there. And I've taken some classes and I forget everything. And then when I get down there, it starts picking up again. But I have my background is Dutch. I can speak Dutch fluently. And it's such a departure in the brain from Spanish. It's comes from a different, I think Spanish and French, it's all very emotional and romantic and beautiful. And Dutch and German is all very logical. And it's so hard for me. My wife, my kids, they pick it up really fast. But I'm definitely, the gringo blanco.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there's still time.
Yeah.
Let's dive into a little bit about PMRE. So one of the great things I think about having this roundtable is when you go to PMRE, you kind of have this environment. You're surrounded by your peers, and it's really great to bounce things off of each other. And that's why I think we really love this idea of the roundtable. It's kind of like, if you weren't there, this is kind of, you get to hear the different perspectives, because you can take away one thing and somebody can take away something totally different. So I think it's really cool that we're gonna have some different perspectives here. And even your perspective going into PMRE versus what you took away can be totally different, and one year to the next even. I'm curious to hear you guys' perspective going into PMRE. What did you think you were going to get from it? And Oliver, I think it was your first year, you said, right? And I'm curious to hear what you thought it was going to be, and then what the reality of it was. Maybe we'll start with you.
Sure. I did have the opportunity to talk to Brandon beforehand, and Brandon, for you who don't know, he's the organizer, creator, founder of PMRE. So I had a little bit of an insight, and he was kind of telling me what it was going to be. I honestly thought it would be a little bit more, even after talking to him, a little bit more like I used to be a cater waiter in my acting days, and I imagine I've been to lots of conferences. They were kind of stuffy, kind of boring. It seemed like most people were nodding off, and I didn't really know, but that's what I experienced from conferences. And this felt, I don't know, almost more like going to a concert or it was really entertaining, very inspiring. I wanted to take time off while I was there just to actually take a break, but everything served at the highest level and was really important. All the vendors were delivering great quality entertainment as well as education. So I was blown away. I came back and I was like, I need to rethink my business, rethink my life. I'm still trying to slow down. It put this energy in me, and we're in it snowed 2 feet here. It's super slow in Muskoka, but it gave me an incredible energy boost. So that to me was a big surprise. I thought that it would be a lot of information. Maybe it wouldn't, but really what I walked away with was I feel like I'm part of a community now, even though, it was a very short week. I feel like I'm connected to a lot of people, and I feel very energized and inspired about the following year. So, that's kind of an intangible. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how Brandon puts that all together, but it's kind of I thought it was amazing. I was blown away.
What about you, Ian? You've been at it several years. What was your perspective going in?
I was excited to be back at the Palms as the venue, right? I know over the years that was kind of an update, and it's been an awesome upgrade. But, the most thing that I'm always excited about for it every year is just to get back and see a bunch of customers that are, at this point, there's plenty of them that are practically friends in that sense, and get to go and hang out and find out what's new in their life, find out where they're going for the next year in their business. It's always great to connect with people actually in person, right? We get to do a lot of Zoom. We get to do a lot of virtual. I personally just always enjoy the in-person stuff even that much more. And then for us, another big focus is there and being able to help educate on some of the new stuff that we had coming. So that was really fun and really successful for us to be able to do that, and then kind of give back with a lunch there as well. That's always fun. And then connecting with vendors. So with other companies that we work with and integrate with, it's always a good opportunity to sort of slow down and be able to have those in-person conversations of, hey, I picked up this nugget. What's, maybe there's something we need to be thinking about in that realm between our new businesses, or, hey, I saw that you were announcing this. How can we make sure that plays well with our integration and slides in and give both of our mutual customers a really good experience? So for me, the conference is really all about the personal connection piece. But I also love listening to the sessions as often as I can to hear the direction that businesses are going and to hear some of the inspiration that they're giving and trying to figure out, is there anything that we can do in our product that helps support that or makes that easier? Or is there a nugget in there that they said like, hey, you should be tracking this metric? Do we have that ability to track that metric? If we don't, should we add it? Does it make sense? Do we think there's a lot of value there? Some people call them kind of the talking heads, if you will, but it's great to just get out and listen and get inspired and hear what other businesses that are even outside of our customer base are doing, because there's just so many ways that a real estate photography company could run and be successful. Even with us serving thousands of real estate photography businesses, and I get the pleasure of talking to so many of them, there's still stuff that I hear that somebody's doing in their business, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's an interesting concept, and I see why you did that, because you're trying to solve that problem. I'm following your logic on how you got there. I wonder who else that could be valuable for. And so that stuff is always just super fun for us. It's kind of like getting customer feedback on steroids for a whole week of feature requests and and all the things that are going on. So it's awesome.
Well, and I want to thank you guys for being one of 2 times that I actually got out of the casino. I'm actually sporting my HDPhotoHub jacket right now, which was awesome. It was so fun to see you guys. And so if you guys don't know, HDPhotoHub sponsors the podcast. They also are huge sponsors for PMRE, right? They're all over the place. They do great things. And obviously their platform is amazing for helping you grow your business and delivering and so much stuff we've talked about in other episodes. But one of the treats this year was literally I think I left the Palms Casino twice. Once was to go, when I first got there, get a whole stock up on a whole bunch of water so I didn't have to pay $8 for it. So I walked down to the convenience store. And the other time is Kevin took us out to lunch, which was really cool, with a couple other peers as well. And that was really awesome to have that time to kind of connect and chat about stuff and just laugh and have a good time, but also very cool hearing all the cool stuff coming with you guys this year as well. So yeah. How about you, Rach? Going in, I know we talked about this a little in the past episode, but we'll give a little quick recap. What about going in for you and the difference between what you actually felt and experienced when you got there?
For me this year, I went into it with more intention. Like I really had some things that I needed to get figured out. I had questions I wanted to ask people. Ollie, you have your hand up?
I can second that, because you came up to me with a little notepad and you're like, yeah, I have 10 questions for you. And you're like, okay, good. I've got the first 2. And you went through your little list. Like you came there with goals. That's very cool.
Yeah. It's very organized. Had my checklist.
we can get the third person perspective, right? You guys talked about it a little bit, Rachel and Neal. How did Rachel felt like she was so awkward going to people with these questions?
Yeah.
How did it feel, Oliver, in real life from the person taking that awkwardness in?
No, I think Rachel is a total professional. I think people look up to you more than you know. I think you you present very well. You do everything very well. And so when you come to me with questions, I'm like, to me, it was more like I was. Yeah, it's almost like an honor. I'm like, okay, cool. There's something that Rachel needs from me. So I thought you weren't awkward at all. I was very flattered, and I thought it was cool.
You.
Yeah.
And I think for anybody worried about that, like putting their neck out there to do that, I think this community, I can't speak for all cases, but in this community, generally, that's what I've seen. If you come up and you had a question, like people are like, hey, no problem, let's talk about it. And I was genuinely surprised multiple times myself that I talked to people and just started like hitting it off, just talking with people. When you were like afraid to just even ask them a question, they were like, oh yeah, let's talk about it.
I totally second that, because we don't really compete with each other. And I had this sense by the end of it that we almost all work for the same company and we're all like regional managers. So there's no gatekeeping. At least it didn't feel that way to me. Anyone there, I was going to bring this up later, but like my favorite thing that a lot of speakers brought up was culture. And I think that Brandon and the organization arms of PMRE have really developed really good culture, because it's very open. It's not a bunch of people trying to like blast past each other. Yeah. There's a lot of like, I'm here, I'm going to put my hand down, bring you up the ladder, and then I can put my hand up and be pulled up the ladder. It felt very much that way.
I feel like even like the funny reels and stuff, Nikki Schutz was around doing a bunch of reels. She was incorporating so many different people from so many different businesses, and it really does. It's almost like summer camp for real estate photographers.
It really is.
Yeah, really.
We need 2 a year, so we need a summer version and then a fall version of that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oliver, I'll let you coordinate one from Costa Rica. Okay.
Oh yes.
I might be on it.
I just need someone to sponsor my plane ticket.
Right?
Might be on that too.
And no, I thought overall this year PMRE just knocked it out of the park again. I mean, the entire conference from start to finish, you are entertained and you can't leave. Well, you don't really want to leave because you're just surrounded by all these inspirational people that you want to talk to. And, you always think, oh, I'm going to go to dinner out on the strip. And then you're like, wait, we have an hour and a half to eat. That's not enough time to get back and go to the nightcap event. It's just jam-packed in and it's fantastic. So yeah, I definitely am glad that I went for the 4th time and I'll be back next year for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Cool.
Do you have any presenters that really stood out to you and why?
I had 2, and so I'll just kind of go brief on both of them. I really enjoyed the presentation from Matt Gia, who's the CEO and founder of Auto HDR. There were some pretty cool AI things that he shared. I think the Loom videos to make SOPs, I think could be really helpful for a lot of companies out there. I think maybe you guys even mentioned that on the last one that was there. He and just the overall use of all of the different things that he's doing with AI, just sort of, even as somebody who feels like, hey, we're leaning on AI, we're doing a lot of things with AI, it really just pushes it further, right? Like it just opens your mind to remind you there's actually more that we can keep doing. And you have to feel out what's right in your business on where you want to do that. But like, keep your mind open to how fast it's all advancing and where it's going. I really enjoyed Alex Combs too. The piece that stood out to me was something that I sort of referenced earlier too, of hearing how she was logically solving problems, hearing about the highs and lows in our business. My favorite part of her presentation was when she told the story of having to lay off some photographers, and she was really bummed. It was right before the holidays, and it was just like crushed her because culture was such a big deal to her and her company. And the fact that she went through the numbers and looked at it and said, how do I get X dollars to be able to afford what I'm trying to do? And came up with a concept to put out to the businesses and the brokers that she was working with to get creative and say, I need money now. How do I get money now? Maybe I could do a subscription thing, and maybe people are interested in buying that, and maybe it'll make it difficult in the summer. I don't really know what I'm getting into, but I'm just going to jump and see how it works. And she was able to solve that problem and bring back on the team that she had to lay off like 3 weeks later. I mean, that's the stuff that I love as a problem solver, that she put a problem out there and said, I had to lay these people off because I didn't have enough cash coming in to do that. How can I get cash coming in to do that? And really went about it in an open mind. Hearing that there's others out there like that like think that way and really want to like break things down at that level, it just feels good. So yeah, they were top ranks for me.
I got choked up hearing her tell that she had to lay them off right before Christmas. And that she did give him, I think she gave him some kind of a package for that time, but then had him back within a month. And it was like, oh yeah, everyone was like, yay, like they came back. It was really cool. She was inspirational. I mean, just a go-getter, man. Absolutely problem solver. Like, love the way she thinks. And she was just a great speaker to be on stage and kind of motivate you and think about what you could do. And I love too that the speakers, there were several of these speakers that talked about the reality too. It wasn't all roses, right? They talked about the hardships. So it's nice to hear that, like, yeah, it hasn't been easy getting to here wherever you all are, in your current businesses. So it's nice to hear that perspective, I think, a little bit. What were you going to say, Rick?
Yeah. Oh, just that I love how she's created different arms in her company that kind of diversify her portfolio in a sense, right? Like she's got the marketing division where they're doing Facebook ads for their clients and social media management and all that stuff, along with events. And I mean, they really are a full service marketing agency at this point. And it started off as just photography and then branched out into all these different things. And she saw a need and she went after it. She's now has 22 people that work for her, something like that. So yeah, super inspirational. Just all of these speeches you hear, you go home and you're like, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. It's great.
When you're talking about Auto HDR too, somebody, I forget who it was, where they were like, we always talk after like, who was your favorite presenter today and stuff, like just amongst ourselves, whoever we're chatting with. And somebody was like, oh, I was really surprised about Matt's presentation. I expected him to have this pitch and then he never did it. He never like pitched me. He never tried to sell me. And all he did was provide value the whole time. And this is one of the hugest things that most of the people I know, I have it. It was folded in half in my back pocket for a whole day to get this thing home. The AI playbook that they said, hey, go pick this up at our booth. So there's times during the day that you can go talk to all the vendors and hear what they have to say and stuff. So you go to the booth and they've got this stuff. Sometimes there's freebies or little gifts and stuff. And so this is all the things he talked about on stage with QR codes, how to check out, how to do these things to solve problems in your business with AI. And I thought, what a powerful tool to present all of those things that they just provided so much value. And I just think if we can reflect that in our own businesses, I mean, if you talk to your agents and just give them 100 things that could help them, outside of you trying to pitch your own self, how powerful to get them to come and chat with you at your table,
Yeah,
So.
real. So Tony Dunham from Mosaic Studios, Neal and I are on a text thread with Tony. It's hilarious, but he just completed his AI playbook, which I'm like, how the heck did you get that done already? Like, I literally haven't done anything yet. I've been on vacation. I've had my kids for a week and a half. I'm like, I've had zero time. But
we've also had Black Friday sales trying to sell our courses. Yeah, we've been doing
Anyways,
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll get there. But Tony did the HeyGen .ai. I believe it's where you can clone. It's like a clone yourself. It's an AI twin. And he sent us the video and he's speaking in Spanish and I think Chinese. And it was dead on. Like I'm like, Tony, either you speak 3 languages or that AI twin is spot on. Like it was good.
Oh, I like the accent too. It was like, it did an accent first. It did like I am Tony Dunham. It was good. Amazing. So yeah, there's so much cool stuff.
Yeah, it's great. Really cool stuff in there.
All of it.
What about you, Neal? Which one is your favorite presenter?
My favorite. So yeah, I was going to say Alex as well, Cheyenne, as well as Eli. So I don't want to talk about them all at once because I know people probably have similar picks and want to say things. So I'm going to go with Eli, which was a surprise to me. I was really impressed with what he had to talk about. And he was talking about buckets. And again, I love this, just kind of a reality check for everybody. I feel like from my own perspective, I always thought like, I'm going to get to a point where I've solved all the problems. Like the business is just going to run. And I loved him talking about having these different buckets. Like you've got your sales, your marketing bucket, you've got your CEO bucket, like what you need to do. And then you've got your client bucket. I forget what all the buckets were, but basically you need a balance of those buckets. And some of those buckets are going to have a whole lot more problems that start to happen. Like you start to bottleneck over there. And he called it whack-a-mole, which I thought was kind of hilarious, that you're going to you're going to hammer down the problems you're having over here with clients. I mean, maybe they're not happy with their product, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden you're going to have a problem with your staff over here. And then you're going to whack that one down. So like the game whack-a-mole, something's always popping up. And what I loved about what he said was that you're not going to just get to this point where they're all fixed. It's always going to be whack-a-mole. The bigger your business goes, the problems just change and evolve. And you're just always going to be playing a bigger and bigger game of whack-a-mole. And I kind of think I like that perspective to go, okay, this isn't like an end game. This is a forever game. And it kind of changes your perspective, the way you think about things, and to just always be on top of it, always know that you're just going to have to continually fix and evolve and adjust and have new resources to solve problems. And it's just what it has to be to continually grow and evolve, if you want to continually grow and evolve.
Which we all do. Let's be real.
Yeah.
No, I got a lot out of his Eli Jones. I don't know if you said his last name.
Oh, I didn't.
No,
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah,
He's almost a first name person. He's like Madonna in our industry.
In real estate, he definitely is. Eli, you know who we're talking about.
Yeah. I was telling people, I'm not even proud of this, but it worked. When people were asking me a little bit about myself, I was just telling people like, I'm like the indie Eli Jones. And then they're like, okay, it totally makes sense. That's how I feel. Like I have a similar thing to him, but it's much smaller and more specific. And I really like to focus on rural markets. And he really has great big systems. I love Eli. I think he's very smart. I think he's a really good business person. So I feel the same way as you, Neal, like cost. I think that's what he called it. Customer, owner, systems. I don't know what T stands for. But that bucket analogy is just such an easy way for you to figure out what you should work on next.
Yeah, for sure. There's always something.
And then I also I think Alex should just get a big thumbs up because I'm not going to talk about her, but she was on my mind too. I think it was just her energy. Like she really came with a lot of energy. And I think it was very inspiring how big she thinks. And I think she still feels small. Like she's got a massive vision. And that's fun to be surrounded by, someone or close to someone like that who's thinking like, I want a team of like 5 people that crush. She wants a team of 100 and she wants to own the entire country. Like that's what so when you think that big, doing small probably is easy, right? So I found that very inspiring. I wanted to give a shout out to, like, I just want to make sure I say his name properly, Simon Divot. On the last day, there was a bunch of architectural photographers, and I was like, I'm not going to get anything from this. Like, what? This is not what I do. But they all came out and they really were inspired about photography and lighting and angles and intention. You know what? The old artist in me started waking up, and I'm like, yeah, I do like all that stuff. I do want to do better work. Like, I don't want, like, as much as I love systems and turning these into products, like the idea that this can also be beautiful. And so I booked a little meeting with him. I went to, what was it called? The Cocoa Lounge or something? Do you guys remember? Did anyone use that room?
No.
So I've asked a few questions, knocked on a door. It's like this big door. Felt like I was going to the Wizard of Oz, and it opened up and it was just him. And you guys know from his energy, he's super grounded.
Yeah.
And I walked in, we went down a hallway, up an elevator, and then we were in this very rat pack lounge room. And it was just the two of us. And I had 15 minutes to just talk to him. And it I don't know what was it about his energy, but
was it a hookah lounge? That's what I'm picturing right now.
it kind of felt that way. I wanted to see Dean Martin, that's what it felt like. That, yeah. And and he just got right down to my soul. And he's like, it's clear. He's like, it's very clear that you're really good at fast. The whole industry has mastered fast. But what about slow? And he would talk like that, almost like I was talking to Yoda. And I was like, what about slow? Yeah.
His whole speech was like poetry, right?
Oh, it was so beautiful. And so I found that the surprise speaker for me was definitely him. I've been thinking since I left, I've been thinking about what he said and how I can incorporate that into my life as I grow as a business, how I can keep the art alive and keep that level of my eye and my artist side alive. So I took a lot out of that as well.
It's so, and this is what I love, this perspective of how one person could take one thing and another person could take a totally different thing. Because last year I felt very creatively inspired from PMRE. And then this year, I think I took a lot more from Cheyenne Crawford about the being the business owner, and then, just not just wasting away into misery, and to really find the solutions because I always do, but I feel like I got the most impact from her. She was talking straight to me that it was time for big changes in the physical, how the business runs and works, to really get my life where I want it to be now, because it's been too long that it's still me in the field. Right. And I finally had that takeaway this year. Last year, I was like, I'm going to do all creative stuff. This year, I'm like, how do I eliminate everything that I do in the business and replace it with people or technology solutions, so that then I can be empowered to do what it is I really want to do in the business,
which is act.
Thank you. Yes, it's true.
Me and Neal, we're just going to do movies.
We are. And I love directing as well. So I do get joy out of helping my agents be successful on camera. I do get a kick out of that. But I'd be lying if I didn't tell you if I wouldn't be excited if they're like, hey, Neal, could you mind playing a little role in this one? I'd be like, yep, somebody grab this camera. Here we go.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Which I have done before.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Cheyenne's speech. It's so funny because 3 years ago, I went through burnout and was working way too hard. Had a life coach that I worked with for, it felt like forever, to figure out that I really had no time for myself. I never prioritized me. It was always the kids or the business or, other things. So he helped me find something that I can do, which now is riding my mule every day, which is great.
The funniest.
And yeah,
You
I
don't
thought
know
I
how
really
funny
like.
that sounds. It's like, because riding a horse, but riding a mule, it's just like, I love it. I'm not making fun of you, but I think you don't know how funny that sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, riding my mule. It's just not something you hear every day.
It
And I
really,
think you should-
it really
that's,
isn't.
like perfectly on brand for you. I love it. I love it so much.
And I feel like I just love that we no longer can possibly have a podcast where we don't talk about mules. It's just not possible.
We love Kata.
Jay, you're begging people to ask you about that because it's just such a, like, I've never heard of, like, I didn't even know a mule was for riding. I thought it was for towing, or you like hooked up a, I didn't know they were for riding. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, a question though about your burnout.
Sure.
And I think I might have briefly asked you, because the one thing when I was listening to Cheyenne and other people, like, to get to where you've gotten and to like kind of graduate through business, is it possible in your mind to get to a level of success without kind of that rite of passage, which I think is business burnout? Do you think that's possible?
I think it's possible. I just think that you'll do it a lot faster if you burn yourself out, because you almost have to put in the hours. And then I think the point is, like, when do you stop? Like, when do you, like, I made it. I was there. I could have hired more people, but I didn't. Like, when's the point that you're smart enough to say, I'm hurting, my life is struggling, my relationships are struggling, I'm not there with my kids enough? Like, when do you realize that you're at that point that you say, okay, I'm going to do something about it? Like, it's time to change. And it took me, like, really getting into a hole and feeling like crap and physically not feeling well to get there. And then I got help. And I still, listening to Cheyenne this year, I'm like, I'm still in this freaking hole. She's speaking right to me. I'm still burnt out. I'm not even working that much. I don't feel like I am.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I still haven't figured it out. So I don't know if there's an answer. Answers anything.
Well, you
but
still have big goals. You told me a few of them.
I
So
do.
you're
Like,
still
that's part of the
you're still
problem.
reaching. But when you do your TED Talk, like when you're on stage next year, whenever you decide to do that, you need to incorporate when is it mule time? Like, that should be, like, you'll know you've made it when you're thinking about buying a mule.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's
It
funny
does
when you
take a solid hour and a half a day to groom her, saddle her up, ride her, cool her down, put her back, So it's a good break.
As much as I joke about it too, it's such a huge accomplishment to have that mule, to have accomplished it. That was a dream for you and your daughter to get there.
Yeah.
And it's funny when we get there, I think this is the thing, like, that kind of goes hand in hand with this burnout that Cheyenne was talking about. It's like, you get there and you so quickly forget how bad you wanted to get there, and you're there and enjoying it, and you're already going, oh, I'm still not doing the thing I want to do here. I'm still not doing the thing I want to do here. So it's very hard to kind of just embrace those moments once you get there. I think that's part of the burnout, is we're all so driven that I think as soon as we get there, we're just going somewhere else.
Yeah.
My
wife pointed that out the other day. I finally achieved something I'd been working on, and I've been saying, like, I'll be relaxed when I get there. And then I got there and she was like, you're not relaxed. And so I described it as this, like, I feel like when you're going after something, you're going up to a cliff's edge, and that to you looks like the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And once you get up on top of there, you look up and you're like, wow, I just got to a plateau, but there are so many more peaks. Like, I did a lot of work just to do a lot more work,
Yeah.
But I don't think we'd go after the top peak if we knew how far it was.
Yeah.
Definitely not. No, those wins keep you going. Go ahead, Ian.
You have to find the unbalance to know when you're balanced too. And I think as small business owners, like, that really is like the trick. Like, you're gonna have to push, and you're gonna find where your limits are. And like you said, Rachel, like, eventually you're gonna realize you're in that spot where you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I wanted this, and maybe I don't, or it doesn't look like this, and you realize that you're out of balance. So then you can dial it back in to be in balance, right? It's sort of like, you can't be happy without some of the sad feelings, right? You don't know the difference.
Yeah,
of them.
you don't
just
know.
really think that's, you have to find it.
You don't know what's good without a little misery.
Exactly. Now, one key thing that I took away from Cheyenne's speech was no is a complete sentence, which is going to be my tip Tuesday today.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, oh, I love that. I need to tell my kids. I actually said it to my kids when I got back. I'm like, no. My son's like, but Mom, da da da. And I'm like, no is a complete sentence, Jack. I'm not. No.
I literally just saw that today. We went to this little local bookstore, and they have all these little fun, like, bumper stickers, but they're just regular stickers kind of thing with slogans. And that was one of them. I was like, oh, no way. Yeah.
Hey.
That's cool.
It's awesome. That's awesome.
No is a complete sentence. The other big piece about going to PMRE is the first presentation is kind of about what's going on in the industry across the U.S. Because, sometimes you're in your own little town and you don't really know what's happening elsewhere. And I think that's another great thing about this community is like you get the chance and go like, is it crazy busy where you are right now, or is it crazy slow where you are right now, or what's the pulse? And one of the things we start out with, they tell you about the industry and what it's looking like compared to last year and the year before that, and what it's projecting, and what are the new products that seem to be growing, like video versus Matterport versus all this. I think we kind of get back in touch with the pulse of what's going on in real estate media, not just for our own small team, but kind of the world, and or the US or US and Canada, whatever. But there's a lot of people from Canada too, I will say. But I think it helps you kind of identify some shifts. So I'm curious to hear what you guys' perspective was. What do you think is, from everything from PMRE and your experience in the past year, are you feeling shifts for the future in the industry, and what do you think that shift is going to be?
So this is like, I think there's lots to be said about that, and there is, but I have this perspective that I've had for a while, and I do think that this is coming because I'm kind of seeing it, really, I'm seeing it in my market, so I'm just going to project it onto you guys, is that I kind of feel like the future of real estate media, because like you said, photography, 100 clients, that's how you make a living. Media, like all-encompassing media. I think that the agents that stand out and the brokerages that stand out, if you think about Red Bull, it's a drink, but really it's a media company. Like they sponsor athletes, they put on big shows. I think brokerages, and you see it a couple, like with the agency and stuff like that, it's a lot more about lifestyle and about production, and they're really leaning heavily into like media. And so I think us real estate media providers, or at least the ones that want to, are going to start servicing a smaller amount of agents at a much higher level. So instead of working for 20, 30 agents and doing photos and videos for everyone, we're going to work with like 10 agents, but give them, or one brokerage, and inside that brokerage, like really highlight. And you're going to have celebrities are like, the ones that are really crushing it are kind of like celebrities. And there's like the Kevin Hart celebrity, you see them everywhere and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm almost sick of them, but they're really good and funny. Sorry, Kevin Hart, I know you're not listening. And then there's also like the Clint Eastwood celebrities that are like super established and respectable, but they're still celebrities and they're still very well known, and they're that way because of media. And so my feeling with all these new tools that we're having and all these ability that we have and the amount of talent that's coming into this industry is that we're going to see smaller companies servicing a few agents and really elevating them and growing with them, right? Like if you help a real estate agent run their YouTube channel, they become like the local celebrity, their listings are going to go through the roof, which is going to increase the amount of business that you do. So servicing a small amount and really playing a hand in their success is going to grow your business until the point that, if you have a 1% agent, your whole entire budget could come from that one agent if you're providing all their media. So that's kind of that's my prediction of where all this is headed.
Yeah, I think
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, spot on.
Damn.
Honestly. I think there's a lot of one-off.
Nailed it. Brownie points go to Ollie.
Yeah, there's a lot of one-off
Did you say
photography
Whitney?
companies, but if you can offer them everything and really be an extension of their team, I think it's a huge advantage for them and for you.
That's what I have down to is what I've been feeling. The pulse of things is if we're, and I think I've said it before, but my company's goal is to help elevate our real estate agents to be successful. And if we're really trying to do that, can we honestly still just be giving them photos and a video and walk away? Is that creating success for them? I don't believe so. So I think we really have to be thinking about how can we help them succeed on social media, to crush it with social media, to draw clients to them. And one video, I just don't think it cuts it. So what else can we provide? And so that's one of the things that I'm kind of working backwards from, to try and think like, what is it? Simple stuff. Like even one of my clients, she's doing a 12 days of Christmas right now. We went and filmed the 12 days of Christmas for her. And, that's more than just being a burn and churn kind of real estate photographer. I think that photos is going to be the easiest thing for a lot of people to be able to do well. It's becoming easier and more of a commodity in our market, real estate, because it's done fast and efficient and affordable. And that's unfortunately the affordable part is the part that everybody new thinks that that's the only way they can compete. So I think in order for you to continue to be successful, I think we have to continue to provide additional value above that. It's just not going to cut it anymore.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be competing elements like the AI twin that you can create now. You know, agents don't necessarily need us to film them to make all these videos. You know, you can make AI B-roll of yourself that looks really close to you and slap some text over screen. So there's a lot of changes, I think, coming with AI and agents learning. I had one agent who was like, hey, I want to use my photos and turn them into a video. Do you know the software you use to do that? And I'm like, I do, but I can't remember what it is. And it was Infinite Creator. And when it came in my mind, I was like, I sent it to her and she goes, thank you so much for not gatekeeping and like sharing that with me. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. Like I used to have a subscription with them. It's, you know, it's kind of basic, but it does what you're wanting. So, you know, here you go. She just hired me yesterday. We did a walking video through a listing. We did a bunch of AI over it it was like all studs. And so we finished it out with AI and add virtual staging in there and she's thrilled, you know? So it's one thing to share, but also to like learn with them and teach them what you know, I think is going to be a shift as well. And helping be that educator that can show them what's new and what they can do to accelerate their brand. You know, they're always going to still need you, I think, to some extent. But with the amount of content they need to be cranking out, they're going to need to use AI, I think.
I see hands. We're going with, I saw Oliver first, then Ian. Go.
Well, Ian, do you want to jump in? You seem super inspired there.
I'm just very inspired that when Rachel Ann's talking about AI and studs, as I'm like flashing back to some of the presentations and things in this house with this real estate agent that she's helping, all I'm seeing is like a bunch of ripped dudes that are walking around. And I'm like, oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Studs. Like,
not
really
good. You were in Vegas too long. You're thinking about the Thunder Down Under, I think.
Yeah. The AI copying yourself, all like I do think that is coming, but what I'm like looking even just a little bit beyond that for us. I think that when everyone figures it out and, you know, some software company makes it super simple and it's almost impossible to tell if I'm really here or not. This is maybe hopeful thinking, but I do think what's going to start to really matter is authenticity. Like, I think that's going to, again, start to become super valuable. Like, I did a broker presentation today. Who likes being on their social media? Like, no, one person put their hand up. Everyone, most agents don't want to do this. So when that solution comes along, that's super easy. A lot of them will jump on it because they're like, thank God I don't have to actually be in the video, talk, do my hair, whatever.
Yes.
But that's going to create, I think, an opportunity for the ones that are being coached by someone like Neal or like really helping them. I do think that the next step beyond that, that's going to matter. And that's why it's, I think, always good if anyone listening has agents where they're directing them, develop that skill, because that is going to stand the test of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I wanted to say about that. Okay, so I get the fear of, oh, they're not going to need me to film this anymore because they can do it on their own. If you think about it, if everybody can instantly do their own automatic video, let's say it got to the point where it's so easy, it's just an app that everybody gets when they buy their phone, it's just on there and they just type in text and it creates them saying that. What that's going to create is, again, that's going to be sort of a commodity that nobody really cares about because it's not original and everybody can do it. What's going to still be of value is creativity and advice and how to separate yourself from the pack. And so the more that we can help guide our agents and help be creative, and same thing with just social media in general, I think if we want to start succeeding, we're really got to start tapping into being original, being creative, start being the trendsetter to be able to separate your clients from, because it's just gonna be more and more of these realtors doing the same intro that we just saw last week. And it's gonna be, right now it's like we see 10 of them, but next year it's probably gonna be 100 of the exact same thing you see.
The wave is coming.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's, I think, gonna be the big difference.
I just want to hop in and kind of put a button on that. I always tell this to brokers when I'm like, hey, let's do more like fun stuff together. Internet is a party of 100 people. When you show up to that party, you kind of mingle a bit, and then usually everyone by the end of the night, they clump together with the people that they most resonate with, because that's where you're having the most fun. And so creating an authentic voice online and really like leaning into that, you're going to find your group at the party, which are the clients that you want to work with. If you're trying to be for everyone and copy everyone, you're going to be working with people that you don't want to work with. And I asked the agents, who here has clients that they wish they could fire? Everyone put their hand up.
Yeah.
Being authentically yourself and leaning into that online is the best way to find people that you love to work with. And the best way also, because I'm not for everyone, it's the best way to repel people that you don't want to work with. Because there's probably people listening to me right now. They're like, I just don't really like his vibe. But that's good, because then, you probably shouldn't work together, right?
No, it's so true. Yeah. Exactly true. Yeah. Attract your tribe for 100%. And that's a lot of the real estate agents have the wrong thought. They're trying to attract everybody. And that's totally one of the things we try to educate is no, attract the people you actually want to work with. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That will like you.
Yeah.
Let the haters hate. They can leave. They don't have to follow you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Psst. Sorry to interrupt. If you haven't heard, Rach and I are using Pixel CRM.
Pixel CRM isn't just another boring tool. It's basically your business's best friend. With Pixel CRM, you can automate your lead generation, follow-ups, client communication, and stay top of mind with email campaigns. And there's just so much more.
And if you want, you can try it out today. Just go to pixelcrm.com/STS, and you're going to get the first month of Pixel CRM free.
And, with all of these new systems and workflows and AI and all this stuff, our workflow has gotten a lot quicker. Do you think that this means that our services should also be cheaper with like automated editing for instance, right? Like Auto HDR, Fotello offer AI editing that you can get back day of. What do you think this is going to do? Or should we adjust our pricing with these increased workflows that we have?
I'd love to jump in on this.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Ollie. I see you shaking your head. Right, Rachel, you guys kind of called it out earlier, talking about new people coming in and thinking that the way that they're going to succeed is by lowering the price, and now all of a sudden it's a race to the bottom between all the people in the market. It isn't good for it. When you look on the long tail, it's never good to take that approach. But I get it, right? It's feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. We could do it for so much cheaper. And the piece that I would challenge any real estate photographer or anybody who does like a skill or a craft to think about is, as you become more experienced and more efficient and better, you have put in the hours to gain that experience to be able to do it how you do it. When you started, all of you guys could probably speak to this. When you started shooting real estate, maybe for a basic shoot, it took you an hour and a half on site. And now you do it in 20 or 30 minutes. Is the result any different than what you were delivering before when you were spending an hour and a half doing it? Is your customer getting any less value because you're spending less time now that you're more experienced to do that? Like, absolutely not, right? Like, why would you change your pricing because of that?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Well said.
Yeah. Just because it takes you half the time to do it doesn't mean that it's any less valuable to your client. If anything, it's more of a value to them because they don't have to hang out with the property for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yes.
You apply that to your services and you apply it to your workflow, you apply it to your whole business. Just because you learned something that can make you more efficient doesn't make it less valuable to the people that are out there. And
right.
Man, new businesses that are coming in and doing a race to the bottom, that just it doesn't help. But also, you don't have to, like, hey, if you got agents that appreciate that and want the cheap, then you know that you don't work with the cheap agents.
Yeah.
Why? If that's what they need, great. Let them go work with them. Like you said, Oliver, attract the people you want to work with and price yourself accordingly and dig in and get deeper with the people that you value that connection with.
Yeah. There's people that are so hungry. Some of my clients are so hungry for content. They're like yesterday, the gal I was working with, she goes, well, I was thinking about getting a drone, and I was flying the drone, and she was asking me like 100 questions about it. She was like, so I have to get a license if I want to fly? I'm like, well, if you fly commercially. And she's like, well, how do you crash? Like, you said you've crashed like 5 drones in 8 years. I'm like, yeah, a branch. And she's like, oh, I didn't think about that. I mean, it was just, they could see her wheels spinning. Like, what would it be like if I had to fly this drone? And the whole reason for getting the drone was she wanted to get community footage around Snohomish, which is like a small town. I'm like, girl, just hire me to come do it for you. I will do it. It'll look great. We can put it in a reel for you, give you the B-roll, whatever you want. Like, there's no reason to go do it yourself. So yeah, there are agents who need and want content. And I'm teaching a workshop for her office in January. on how to use gimbals and how to edit in CapCut and how to make their own little walkthrough videos at their open houses. And it's just an add value. You know, she's curious and she's hungry to learn. So I was like, this would be fun. You get me in front of how many agents in your office? Let's go. I'm in.
Yeah, and I think that what we're buying real estate agents all the time is time. And I asked, because I asked today in the presentation, like, how many people have messed around with AI? Everyone's like, yeah. And like, how was it fun? Yeah. Did it do what you want? Not really. How hard was it to get it to do what you want? Very hard. Took a lot of time. So that was the pain for all of them. And so what we're doing is we've partnered with an outsourcing company that has mastered prompting. And I showed them some examples of like, so you tell us what you want. They do it. It always costs the same amount. Like, that's why you're going to outsource to us, because you're not going to spend 2 hours trying to prompt something to look the way you want to. It's just not worth their time. And the only savings I'm passing on to them is the efficiency of them not spending their own time doing that. And they'll continue to pay the same prices because they just don't want to waste their time. But I'm innovating and growing my service, but I'm still just charging them for outsourcing the time to me because I'm the expert. So they really like that. And I want to go back to, there was a time when Final Cut Pro, you had to transcode everything as an editor before you could edit it. Everything had to be transcoded to ProRes. You couldn't just dump any media source into it. And when I was working at Survivor Man, we would take a week just to transcode footage before we'd start editing. And then we moved over to Premiere Pro. At the time, it was the big upgrade. And you could dump any media source in. And we were all like, do not tell the boss, because this is just buying us more time for quality control. And that's what I think, like just yesterday, I tried it out. I shot a whole house handheld bracketed and I put it through auto HDR and it came back and it was really fucking good. And I was like, holy crap, I can't believe, and I like flew through the house because I could just tuck in corners, get my lines pretty close, tick, 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 and then just move on. Yeah. I was experimenting and I was like, if this doesn't work, shame on me for experimenting. But anyways, I did. It came back. I still took time to do quality control, and it doesn't always do things exactly the way you want to, but no one does. No human editor does either. There's still, so all the AI that editing is doing for you, in my opinion, is buying you more time to do quality control to deliver to your agents. So use the tools for ourselves to move faster. But like you said, Ian, that doesn't diminish, that actually increases the quality of the product.
Yeah, convenience of time. Like when you're just talking about this, I've heard a lot of recently about this new technique. A lot of people are not using their tripod. They're just hand holding, getting multiple exposures, and it's auto aligning them. And so you can be on site faster. So great for your business because you could do more shoots in a day, but also maybe convenience for your client, because sometimes my clients are there on site with me, for example, or just, having the people out of the house for a shorter period of time, for example. And then I think the same thing, our first thought is always, okay, there's this automatic AI editing of my photos now. So I guess I don't have to pay my editor as much. So I guess I should charge less. But there's other ways to think about it and look at it too. You can go, well, actually, I could offer this as an upsell. Maybe my clients would see value in getting these photos instead of next day, same day. And maybe I'll actually charge more for that because it's more logistically on the back end to do that quality assurance and get that all done quicker. Yeah. So there are things you have to solve in the background because, it's not all going to come back perfectly. It doesn't. I've played around with a couple of companies that do it, and you do have to get revisions, and that does still take time. So maybe if your first instinct is always cheaper, stop a second and think, well, maybe there's a value add here, or, think of other ways around for interesting solutions. Cause that might be, I think definitely some clients would be interested in paying a little extra for the same day.
I even heard of a subscription model where you pay $99 a month and you get same day on all your media. I was like, oh,
that a lot. Yep.
That's why we need subscriptions in HDPhotoHub. I already talked to Shay.
Poor Shay.
Planted that little seed. He's like, Brad sent you up to this, didn't he? I was like, well, maybe at dinner with Brad.
And that was discussed at our lunch with HDPhotoHub, actually. So it all comes around full circle,
Oh, the sushi. Can we go back to yummy sushi,
that
please?
Was good sushi. That was a great lunch. That was really good.
It was dinner, but
was it?
It was a great.
Oh yeah.
You can say lunch when it gets sushi.
Well, but like for me in Vegas is almost like lunch, right?
Yeah, no. And I was on East Coast time, so it was lunch for me. So.
Oh, that's fair. You'd be fine.
Although it was dark out, so I can't ignore that.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
All right. So last question, and we'll wrap it up. with a fun segment. Where do you guys see the business heading in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so the industry in general, I mentioned early on, I've been around in this for quite a while, and I remember the days when real estate agents were going to embrace video, and this is like more than a decade ago, guys, that they're like, all right, agents are doing it. That's finally catching on. The social media is catching up. We're gonna be doing way more stuff on camera. And it's taken like a decade to get to that point where now there's like, if you're doing a lot of video in your market, you're doing it like 1 out of 4 shoots, right? And maybe some of it is kind of light video compared to the agent on camera stuff. That was kind of the beginning of that. I feel similar on some of the trends that are moving in the industry. I think that as the companies that are servicing our clients, so us servicing real estate photography companies and you guys servicing the real estate agents, it's our jobs to be on the cutting edge of what's happening and know where things are going and begin to build the foundations to move that way. But it's also our jobs to understand that it's going to take time for companies and agents to shift and start to embrace that stuff and start to find the value that it is actually returning to their business. So I think 5 to 10 years, I think that we'll see crazy improvements in the AI world. I think for sure AI editing will be way more common than it is today. I even believe that for next year, it'll be way more common, and I believe it'll just keep getting better. So I think we'll see that in quite a big way. I think we'll continue to see stuff like the photo to video transition pieces. There'll be more technology shifts that are happening there. But I think when I think of what technology does and holistically where it is and how it changes multiple industries, is it tends to lean towards the convenience piece, which you guys kind of touched on earlier, right? If it gets to the point where you can make a clone of yourself and it's just so convenient to put it out there, people will start doing it more. But then it loses its flair, and now it's not it becomes a trend that's popular for a time, but then dips back down, and it's that authenticity that really matters. So I think the things that that we see at our company that we focus on, and the things that I would encourage real estate photography companies to focus on, is what are the pieces that you can add to your business that actually makes something more convenient for your client. Those are the things that are going to stick and be around for the next 5-10 years, are the things that are going to keep moving that way. So the things when you go, oh my gosh, that's so easy. That's the stuff like, I would say smart scheduling is a great one to lean on, where it didn't used to be that people could just pick a time and have it, but it is becoming crazy popular now because it is so convenient. Same thing with next day turnaround on the photos, right? Like that hasn't been a thing for, it's been a thing for me like the past 5 years, maybe 7. But like when I go back in time to my early days, like 2 days, 3-day turnaround was pretty normal. Now an agent would be like, geez, what am I waiting for? What is my person must be really doing something special because everybody else is 1 day. Like it's those convenient pieces that move it, that really shift. And so I'd be looking at, floor plans on listings are going to be way more common because it's just so easy to do now. Mm-hmm. Scheduling online is going to be those pieces. And I think there's spots in AI that we don't even see yet because it's just not there. But in that 5-year period, it's going to evolve so fast. And when you're talking about 10 years, no way can I predict where stuff with like AI and technology is going to be over the next decade. Everything will be better and more efficient. What will be the crazy thing? I don't know.
I sort of launched into it before, where I think that for us, we're going to be servicing less agents at a higher level with more media products. Yeah. I think that like hyper targeted marketing will start to be like with AI and big models and big data, where like we'll probably get the opportunity to educate ourselves to bring products to agent where we're going to be able to get their listings right in front of the right people. And that's something we don't even know how to do yet, but I imagine that'll be like a service that we can start providing. So I think that you're right. I think convenience and efficiency of like what our media is made, how easy is it for the agents to get it and for us to produce it? And then how do we actually take the media that we're making for them and make sure it gets to the right destination the fastest way possible with the littlest amount of effort from the agents? I think for our industry, that's what's coming. And as all the providers, it'll just be up to us to show up, party at PMRE every year, educate ourselves, and then bring that back to our agents. I think, but to really say where it's all going, I just think it's going to be high level service to and like hyper specific to the client. So if it's a family home, we're going to be able to have a funnel that goes right to those type of buyers instantly, and we'll be providing that service. I think that's what's going to happen, because we're going to have to keep on like making ourselves different and better from our competitors. I think everyone's totally right. Just the photos, that's like my kid can do that now if she wanted to.
Yeah. And handheld.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't recommend really doing that, especially if you have a team. I wouldn't tell them all to go handheld. I think you need to be a pretty good shooter to pull it off. Just want to put that caveat out there that people don't just tell their whole team to start doing that.
I want to throw it back to what you're saying about working deeper with agents. I think a lot of the tools that are out here are going to continue to enable you to work with many agents in the market and do that more efficiently, so that extra time is actually spent with your top producers, the ones that are doing the most, to continue to invest in them and invest in them being able to go out and get more listings, and for them to understand that the marketing and the approach that you're taking for them isn't about that one listing, it's about getting the next listings. But I just think that those in general, it will be easier to work with more, so that you can spend more time like personally one-on-one working with less, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think agents are finally going to understand that they truly need a personal brand.
Yeah.
They might actually grasp that concept and run with it. I hope.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm preaching that for the last, 5 years.
Yeah.
Build personal brand. Yeah. If you want my doomsday prediction, 5-10 years, this is fun. I have a little pre-traumatic stress syndrome. Listening to too many podcasts, I've gone down too many rabbit holes.
I love it.
But
Pre-traumatic.
I think majority of us are going to be out of a job because of AI, replacing a lot of like white collar jobs. And I think it's going to change the fabric of our society, which might spiral the housing market into a complete downturn because nobody can even afford to live in their houses anymore. And so it's going to flip the whole system upside down. And then cryptocurrency will come in, or the digital currency will come in, and they'll wipe out all of our debt and they'll start us all over, and we'll all get just fed money every month.
Wow.
So long as this program includes one mule, do we all get a mule?
Oh yeah. I'm not getting rid of the mule. She can haul my food across town for me if I need
we're
her
going to
to.
get a
So
stipend
she's
from the
staying.
government. I'm just asking if it will include a mule. But we know those programs have gone in the past, though, unfortunately. Well, no, and I think, let's the elephant in the room is the fear of this AI and changes so fast. And I think the reality is, they're already replacing a lot of white collar jobs, right? Because AI can do what 10 people can do in 10 seconds for a lot of things. So this could definitely have an impact on the economy. Unemployment, if that quickly changes, that for sure, that could definitely happen. Outside of that fear, and I don't know what to do with that, right? What can we do with that? Nothing. We just wait and see, and hopefully we can adapt and evolve and find new solutions and new offerings if the current, because already, like for example, virtual staging, talking about not being a gatekeeper of knowledge, you can only hide these new things from your clients for so long. So in my opinion, there's no point. So for example, virtual staging, I've had clients reach out to me that have done virtual staging in the past. And I say, hey, listen, honestly, I don't know if you tried this new app, but it's super easy. In literally 2 seconds and costs you like $5. You're going to get that room virtually staged, and it actually looks consistent from one shot to the next. I think you should utilize it, because honestly, this is a huge value add for you, that you could now do every single room virtually stage in this vacant house where you couldn't afford to before. I think I'd be holding you back by still charging you what I would have to charge you to physically do it with my editor. And so we got to adapt and go, okay, maybe this isn't going to be a staple of my business anymore, but that's okay. I'm going to double down on video where I can offer the most value to my client, and just being a partner with them. The fact that you're going to help them in that way, they're going to want to stay with you because they know you're going to help them succeed. One thing I will say about AI that I think is coming, we've already seen it already, a lot of trends happening faster, I feel, than they did in the past because of these new trendy AI tools. So I think there's going to be a lot of trends that everybody's going to be trying to do. And what I think we're going to want to try to maybe think about for the coming year before we got sucked into all these cool new fun things that are going to happen is this really what we want for our brand and for our clients' brand? Does it make sense for their brand? Is there anything more to think about besides just winning views on social media? Because yes, we've all probably blown up a house in our video because that's what the client saw and that's what the client wanted. But why the hell is a house blowing up in a video? It makes no sense. We're going to start thinking about these things, because that could be a way to separate yourself as well, is to go back to, hey, what's really good video? What's really actually elevating my client's brand and my brand and stuff like that. So that also tied in with, I think there's going to be a backlash on trust and truth in media. And so you got to be cautious. And I say, start thinking about it right now. You want to do these AI models yourself? I mean, maybe consider putting a thing on the screen that says, this is my AI, duplicate, so that people don't feel duped. Nobody likes to feel duped. They're going to lose trust in you, and you will definitely lose clients that way. So consider that as you're doing these new things. Before there are protocols that help people understand what is real and what isn't, maybe set the standard. I was thinking about that for Rachel and I was like, maybe we could do a bunch of videos with AI. And then I thought, you know what? I just don't want people to feel it's fake or not authentic, that it's not actually us doing it. So if we do those to save time, I thought Rachel and I would have a funny cartoon character of ourselves. A way around that to still be truthful is make it a cartoon character instead of a realistic version of ourselves. And you're not fooling anybody. They know that's a cartoon character. Nobody has a problem watching a cartoon. So I don't know. I think it's really something to consider. A lack of trust could be a really big problem for the whole world. So I don't know. We can start by considering it now before we get right into the thick of it and chasing everybody else that's doing all these wacky, crazy things.
Yeah, and everyone's seen WALL-E. What happens when you disengage from your work? You end up on a floating wheelchair, drinking smoothies, and completely being like, you have no sense of anything, right? A couple agents today asked about engagement. And my answer was look, I can make it, I can produce it, I can schedule it, I can take everything off your plate. But if I was you, I would never outsource the engagement, because you are the large language model. And when people like something or dislike something, you want to be engaging with that. If you outsource all of that, you're eventually just you're vacant. You don't have what's current. You're out of the zeitgeist. And so all this automation and AI, and I don't want to be on camera, but I'll have a fake version of me on camera. Why would you do that? Either invest in being on camera or invest in a different way of being competitive if you don't want to get good at this, because it's all, that is who you are. And business is always going to be based on relationships and problem solving, and AIing and automating yourself to death is literally what you're doing for your business. So that's my cautionary note for all of it.
I like that.
Invest in fun and invest in authenticity and your relationships, and no matter what changes in the market, exactly, Neal, then you'll never be out of work. But if you outsource everything, especially to an AI, you're going to get out of touch. And then when you need to innovate, you won't even know how to innovate, because you won't have your finger on the pulse of what's next.
I love it. I love it.
And I've been thinking about doing the Instagram method on my Instagram page and letting my VA go in and comment. And he has a list of prompts that he can put out there. And I'm like, what if he does get into a conversation with someone and I don't know? And then I meet this agent out in the wild at my Real Producers events that I go to. And they're like, oh, hey, we've been chatting. And I'm halfway. I have no idea. How
That happened to me at Vegas. I met a guy. My TikTok was being run by my VA because I didn't want to do TikTok. And I was like, just post my stuff. He's been having these conversations. And someone's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And he's like, you've been, and I'm like, TikTok? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, and awkward me. I really should have just been upfront about it. But I realized that is high value work, and it's not a good thing for my brand and my business. If they're like, I wasn't even talking to you, that feels dirty. Yeah. And so, if all the things you can do, communications with your potential customers is not a thing that you want to remove yourself from, because that ultimately, as you ascend up the business ladder, is what you're supposed to be doing. That is your business.
Right. And how excited are you when you actually get a chance at PMRE or in even a DM with somebody to actually talk to this person? So that does feel like you've been robbed if you aren't actually talking to them.
Yes, I felt like a dirty little, I don't know, I'm trying to be PC, but I felt very
You
dirty.
don't have to be PC. You're on shooting the shit.
Oh, right. But anyways, yeah, it felt very dirty. It felt like I did something bad. And I actually did feel bad. I was like, yeah, that's not the point of all this.
Well, good lesson learned, and for all of us to learn without having to go through that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, one other real prediction, because that mine is a little extreme.
No, it was good. I love
It's
good.
for everybody. What?
Yeah.
It's for everyone. You get a donkey and you get a mule. You get a mule. Yeah. So I do believe that outsourced editing to these editors overseas is going to be eliminated in the next 3 to 5 years. I just don't think there will be a need for it. I think it'll be too slow. It'll be too costly. And AI editing is going to just run the show, unfortunately.
Definitely a big
So
shift.
I told my editor this. He had no idea. I told him, I'm like, AI editing is moving in really fast.
Wow.
You should probably diversify. Like, video's still there, so keep doing that. But I just wanted to warn you, like, a lot of people are moving to the AI editing. And he was shocked. He's like, no, it's not good. We're way better. I'm like, yes, you are way better right now. But in 2 or 3 months, the next update, I could be jumping ship.
And people don't understand the speed of AI, the evolutions of AI. It's not like old tech was that there was, 5 years or 10 years. It's going so fast.
For any of those overseas editors, my recommendation is to become a good prompter and curator of it, because then at the very least, us who have content with making the content, we dump it into a Dropbox folder, it appears on your desk, and then you become the operator of the AI, quality control it. That will still be useful. Obviously, anyone can skip that step, but I know for me personally, I don't want to do that. Like I want to be out there shooting, creating, talking, networking. And so anyone who's afraid of losing their position as an editor, become a good operator. You're just moving to a different machine. Instead of working with a shovel, you can be in a big excavator, and you just need to know how to pull the handles.
It's the same problem that they're facing, right? Don't be a commodity. Find a way to be more than that. Find the solutions for whoever you work with. Try to get ahead of the curve and educate them on something they might not know, because that's your skill set. Make yourself sticky.
I love that word, sticky. I use it all the time.
That's such a good word.
Sticky business.
It's true, right? Because if they're helping me out outside of just handing me edits that, they've got some advice for me, or they go, hey, do you know that this is a faster way to do this? Whatever, that suddenly they're more valued than just, a bunch of editors in a room. So
now don't be scared, right? Don't be scared of AI. Right, we talked about lots of ways to not use it in your business, but there's lots of ways to use it too. And that's the difference. It's sort of like some of the generation, right? I went through and got to get on the internet in high school, right? Or right as high school's hitting, and maybe that's college for some other people and a little bit further on others. The people that embraced it and learned how to actually search the internet and use the internet to solve problems, all of my friends that are like, hey, what do you think is going to happen with AI? You're in technology. I'm like, just use it. Use it a little bit and understand how to be good at it, because it's going to change things. I don't see it totally replacing all white collar jobs, but definitely some. But the people that know how to operate and run it, they're not getting replaced. They're using it to help with the replacement, which maybe kind of sucks, but it's evolution, right? There isn't a bunch of people out there with shovels and hammers building skyscrapers right now. It's the evolution of the tools that are available to do it. And we need to look at it as a tool and not a totally scary technology thing, even if it can be both.
To outright, if you think about AI for video, it doesn't have to replace all of your video, but it can be used as an addition to your video. Let's say you're doing a walkthrough video, but there's you need some extra B-roll, or you need an enhancement from, if you can find ways to seamlessly work it into your work to just be one more thing that takes your work above and beyond the competition, I think you're going to excel doing that.
Yeah, I had a Santa land on top of my listing today for a real
Literally just going to say that. I was like, have Santa land on the roof.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I did that. I did that for an agent, and I delivered both. And I'm like, if you're going to use AI, then let's just make it's a fun, AI is the best way to make a hook, and then go into your traditional video. Maybe you can tease out where find the elf on the shelf and put those in there so the video becomes, but why are you doing that? I don't know. But at the very least, it provided a much more interesting hook than just a snowy house, because the agent was pissed because it snowed, right? So we're like, well, let's lean into it.
Yeah, and I don't want to say don't don't use AI and don't.
Neal is anti-AI.
I don't want you to limit your creativity. Like I don't want you to say never blow up a house, but I just want to think about it. Like, does this make sense? That's all. Like,
be classy, right?
You know,
like, use it sparingly. Keep it classy.
You're going to be able to put 100, bikini models in this house if you want to in a video, but does it make sense? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Every time
I love playing with it, experimenting with it. I'm trying all kinds of AI stuff all the time, and I love it. And I'm very interested in auto HDR. I just tested a job with it yesterday, and I got set up with the sync, and it pulls those photos automatically into So hold on, eliminating processes. You upload your photos into the system with HDPhotoHub, automatically goes to them. When it's done, it's automatically put into the gallery. It's ready to go. Right now, I also chatted with them, said, I need some revisions, and they will look at it and revise those and stuff. So just seeing some of these processes instead of my current workflow, I take the photos, I upload them to Google Drive, I then share them to my admin sends it to the editor edits it, the editor sends it back to my admin reviews it, then if it's good, she downloads it, then she uploads it into HDPhotoHub.
Neal, you're a caveman.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Neal's going to fall behind because he is not embracing AI. Sorry, Neal. You're out of business. Just kidding.
Yeah.
It's exactly true. Yes. No. So, yeah, I mean, think about there's benefits there for sure, but I just want people to consider what they're doing. Think about it.
For sure. No, PMRE was great. I think it just opened my eyes to even more possibilities with my business. I think by the time we get to winter, it's like, okay, I can breathe. Like it's slow season. It's not slow season because we're working on marketing. We're working on all the things we couldn't work on, but you're not running around with your head cut off trying to manage all the shooters and everything, right? It's like kind of chill time. And then you go to PMRE and that just fills your brain with 500 different ideas of things that you want to implement into your business.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's very innovative, I would say, going to PMRE and hearing all the speakers and meeting with all the vendors and seeing what they have. Go ahead, Ian.
Can I do a shameless plug, guys?
Yeah.
So Herb and I looked at a bunch of data inside of HDPhotoHub and brought a bunch of it together. So if there are people out there that didn't get the chance to go to PMRE, if you'd like to just get sort of a snapshot of where the industry is, specifically real estate photography companies, what's different between the businesses that are growing quickly versus the ones that are growing kind of average and maybe the ones that were a little stagnant. We have a really, really great webinar that we hosted. You can find it on the HDPhotoHub YouTube channel, but it does a great overview of the industry as a whole, first with listings, and then really get specifics about what's different and what are we seeing in our data. And if you're hitting that season in between Thanksgiving and Christmas where you're getting ready to figure out what you're going to go and conquer in 2026, it is a great watch to go and get some ideas and see what's really happening out there with some of maybe your competitors or just holistically through the industry. So I highly recommend it.
It's not shameless. It's actually critical that anyone who heard that watches it. I think I was the 5th watcher on YouTube, and I found it incredibly helpful. And I watched the whole thing front to back. I would say everyone, if you haven't listened to it, it's very informative, and it's going to give you a lot of direction for your next year.
Heck yeah. Awesome. It's great to hear all these success stories from amazing guests like you guys on the podcast, but sometimes for people coming up through the food chain and struggling to make it work and get out of that part-time gig, it sounds a little bit like it's all roses and rainbows. So in order to keep a little reality, keep things in check, we are adding this new segment to hear a little bit about the darker side of your current or past history in the business. And so because success stories are cool,
but horror stories are way more fun.
It's horror story time.
It's horror story time. Okay, we can record that later.
Yeah, that's good. That worked.
I thought you nailed it.
That was perfect.
Oh, thanks.
It's
supposed to be
personality. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Anyways, okay. Are we ready for our horror stories? Who wants to go first?
I have one that my wife is going to be pissed if I share it, so why don't I share it? Not pissed, but she'd be like, Oliver, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe you shared that story. But I think, you know what? That's more fun. Somebody out there listening is going to be like, yeah, it happened to me. I'm just going to dive in. I feel nervous about sharing this.
Did you poop in a toilet that didn't have water?
Pretty close
Did you
to.
do an upper decker? Did you really?
Oh, I know the upper decker, yeah, but no. So I live in cottage country. A lot of cottage listings. Sometimes you just get the lockbox. You go out there. It was late fall, and that's important. I'll get back to that. 45-minute drive up there. Too much coffee. I'm clenching when I arrive.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, good. There's nobody here. Fine. And so, but but still, like if you hear a car, it gets all gravel road. Like I'm listening to cars, and I'm like, they better not come back. They better not come back. You're trying to do your work as fast as possible. Then I get done. I stand up. They'd already shut off the water for the winter, and I was like, oh my god. And then I'm looking at it, and I check the tap's not working. I'm like, this is. And I know they have showings later that day, and I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? Do I have to like carry this out? So like, what am I going to do? And I do hear cars coming down the gravel road, and I'm like, if they're stopping here, I'm pooched.
Oh no.
And so I went out the back basement door, and I found a bucket, and I was like, sweet. And I went down to the lake, I filled it up, and I went back into the house. And they were outside in the front of the house. And so I was like, it was like I was moving a dead body. Like I was like, and I'm like, I got one shot at this. They're better, pour with velocity so the toilet will flush. And luckily, yes, the body moved, the toilet filled up, and then I like came upstairs, and they were just coming inside. I'm like, basement's done. I got the basement. I'll just be moving upstairs now. And I was like sweating.
Did you have a bucket in your hand?
No, I ditched the bucket on the back door, and it was like I did something illegal. Like I was like being so sketchy, and I'm like, these people, I wonder what they thought, like what I was doing. And I'm sure they went downstairs to check.
I just hope there's a ring camera somewhere seeing you go to the lake with a bucket of water, and then I'm also picturing you coming out of the bathroom and like a frog, like you accidentally got a frog in the bucket, like
yeah,
jumping out of the toilet.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was the worst. It was so, and the thing is, like, it's one of those things like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, had I just been like, this is just a oopsie, like, but because I started covering it up, I had to keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper, which made it more and more embarrassing, which makes you do more and more ridiculous things. Yeah, that like.
If only they had caught you like coming in with a bucket of water, like just walking in the door, like.
Yeah.
Please explain the bucket of water. Oh,
yeah. So there you go. That was my horror story. I know that there's people listening who have been in a similar
situation. That was so good. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's funny is we could literally make a whole series because we've all, honestly, I think every single one of us has been in that scenario.
Yeah.
I know I have. And I think we can make an entire series that's just poop stories.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Ian. You're up. You gotta beat that.
Oh, man.
Good luck.
Oh, man.
That is so
That was a
hard.
winner.
I have nothing nearly as funny and embarrassing as that, but I'll go for the realists out there of, we all make mistakes and go, gosh, that was so dumb. Why did we do that? So it was just Thanksgiving here in the U.S., and so we had people over, family over on Thanksgiving Day. Cooked just a small turkey because turkey isn't my favorite meal. So we were doing a bigger thing on Good Friday or on Black Friday, right? So we do our little Thanksgiving meal. We've got some leftovers. Friday, I make some awesome barbecued ribs. I'm loving it. Everything's great, right? We have some friends over. Everybody plays games. We have some family over. Bunch of good times. Everybody enjoys the food. It's awesome. But we've been like warming up the turkey leftovers, and everybody just kind of had ribs and whatever leftovers they wanted, right? And so now at the end of the night, we realize that we still have the oven warming on some of that stuff. We're like, all right, well, let's pull it out. But it's like too hot to put into the refrigerator right now. But it's tired. We've been, people just left. It's after 10 o'clock. We're like, all right, we're going to go upstairs for just a little while, and then we'll let this stuff cool down and come back and be able to put it in the fridge. And sure enough, the next morning I get up and neither of us did it. We had fallen asleep. And so now I've got all of these Thanksgiving side leftovers and no turkey to go with it. And it is absolutely crushing my soul to be like, what am I going to do with all the sides? Like, they're just the sides. I can't just eat the sides. So we just totally wasted a bunch of turkey, and it sucked, and I felt like a big dummy. But you know what? It happened.
Yeah.
None of our guests know. So everybody had a great time. They had a great Thanksgiving. They had a great Friday of barbecued ribs and awesome food. And nobody knows that now I'm just crying over here with no turkey leftovers.
Yeah.
Or
Food
Ian.
waste.
It is sad.
Food waste.
No.
I have Polish in-laws, and that's like a crime to waste food. So I feel your pain.
Yeah, I felt it.
It's a sad moment. Yeah. Oh, we've all been there. We're just like, really?
Yeah.
I love it. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This has been amazing. I really appreciate you guys putting in the time to join us with us and chatting about all this. And I think everybody's going to get a lot of value out of the episode today. So thanks so much, guys.
Real quick before we go anywhere, let's if you guys can give your Instagram handle so people can find you.
I'm at Hollywood Films. So OLIWOODFILMS.
And what's the best way for them to contact you if they're interested in your coaching services? Should they be DMing
In the
you? Or...
link in the bio, there you can go right in. You can just click on the link in the bio, and that'll take you to kind of a form, or just also like I am a small team, so just DM me. Like I do like to speak to people beforehand, so you can send me a DM, a voice note inside of Instagram. That's the best place probably to reach out to me.
Yeah, and Oliver's got some really cool programs. If you're looking to, you're just getting into this and you want to learn, like he has an amazing coaching program. He's got lots of little courses and stuff. He's got a lot of resources for free as well. So go check him out.
Yeah,
Awesome.
just for anyone who has heard my poop story and still wants to work with me, I would say if you're thinking like I am a really good 0 to 10K business setup, one-on-one type of training, and I kind of do. I would say I specialize more in rural markets where maybe the metropolitan like service hasn't kicked in yet, and you want to be that local provider. You have a camera, you got a skill set, and you want to create a real business. I'm really good for that 0 to 10K ramp up. That's kind of my specialty.
I think the rural market understands your poop story, so I think you're attracting your clients.
Yeah, it's relatable. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the outhouse crowd. I'm the outhouse.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah.
Ian, where can people find you and reach out to you about HDPhotoHub?
You guys can find us on Instagram, just at HDPhotoHub. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, all those spots. Also just HDPhotoHub.com. Of course, we have an awesome support team that is not AI. We do believe in hiring real people who understand problems and can actually help you. If you want to try to connect with me personally, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's probably the social network that I'm on the most, but I'm not on there all the time. But I share some fun stuff on there and try to keep it business a little bit in there. So yeah, just reach out to the HDPhotoHub stuff. Like we have a great team to take care of, and if you want to have a conversation with me, they'll get you in touch, and yeah, hit me in LinkedIn. I'll find you there.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we will link that webinar below. So if you guys want to check it out, you can watch the webinar.
Yeah, super good.
If you have any leftovers that you want to send to Ian, we'll get you the address.
Yeah. Turkey.
Yeah. Did everybody get what they wanted to say out there? Anything you wished any regrets before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just one.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No. I'm just.
You don't want to tell your poop story, do you?
No, I do.
Dude, the
That's
poop story is
totally
so
on
good.
brand.
I've done the same thing. I don't think it was poop. Maybe it was just pee, but I was like, oh no. But yeah.
Oh no, I did the same thing. Do you want to hear mine? Because it's horrifying.
Yes.
Yeah,
My husband loves these stories. He's like, I
Who
can't
doesn't
believe that
love
you...
a good poop story? If you don't love a good poop story, you really should stop listening to the podcast right now. Go.
Yeah. So new construction home. This was probably in like 2018. It was my biggest client, and I had to go. Water's off. I took a dookie, and I go to flush, nothing, and I'm like, it's on the first floor, like right when you walk in, and I'm like, oh no, like what do I can't just leave it. So I go to my car. I have a dog, so I go to my car and I get my poop bags, and I have wipes, like baby wipes, in my car. I legit picked it up with a poop bag and then cleaned the toilet with wipes.
Good for you. Yeah.
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 So bring
I tell
poop
you,
dog.
nothing
Thanks
makes
for
you
that.
feel like more like a criminal than like an unflushed poop.
Oh my gosh, I
You
know.
literally
Cool.
stole some poop from that house, Rachel.
Yeah.
Well, it was mine, so I think I took it back.
That's great. Okay, I don't feel so alone. Yeah, it's dangerous out there, Ian. It's
That's
dangerous.
crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like just hearing this, the problem solver in me is like, all right, if I ever become a real estate photographer, I have to just keep like a jug of water in my trunk at all times
Yeah.
Yep.
in case there's a bad dookie situation and there's no water going.
Oh yeah, and I have not learned my lesson because I did it again, but then this time like there was no toilet scrubber, so I'm like running around the house. It's just it's but the thing is, in busy season you cannot schedule your regular poop schedule, so it just it happens. And God bless, I'm happy to be regular. Yeah, you're not holding on to it. Yeah.
Quote of the day: God bless. I'm happy to be regular.
That will be a short.
We've got a new guest on the podcast, by the way. My daughter is here.
Hi.
She can no longer wait for some father attention here. So we're going to go play in the snow.
I got to go get my daughter. So
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you
it.
guys. Super fun.
Outstanding. All right.
all right.
Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.